Hey guys, if you're out there, pop in and say hi. I just turned on the radio and it's pretty quiet on the band. There's a little bit of noise coming in on channel 6, but the rest of the 11 meter band is really quiet. So I figured I'd live stream from outside today. It's nice out here. It's 70, around 74, 73, 74 degrees, and humidity sitting at around 57%. So it's a little higher than usual, but other than that, not too shabby. So anyway, don't be shy. Pop in and say hi. I just got back from the beach. I was just walking the dog, and took him for a little stroll across the street to the beautiful beach. So I gotta fix that board. I keep going through it. There's a sketchy board on this deck that needs to be fixed. So anyway, hopefully you'll like my background here. We got the palms, and we got the blue sky, and we got the sunshine. And if you're around, just pop in and say hi. This is just a video gate to say hi to you guys, because I haven't done one for several days, maybe even a week. And I got my pineapple spritzer here. Man, it is nice out here. And we're waving at you from the Southern Gulf Islands, everybody. If you're out there, like I say, pop in. Pop in and wave at us, because we're waving back at you. If there was Skip, I'd be inside the radio room. And you know, on a nice day like this, I prefer to actually be outside anyway. I've been outside all day. And like I say, I flipped around all the 40 channels, and there's just a little bit of DX coming in on channel 6. All those big strappers in the southeastern states with their, 5,000 watt linear amplifiers. They can't hear me, so I'm not going to waste my time with them. Liam, New Zealand, good day. Popcorn 913, good to have you in there. I'm doing an outdoor live stream today just because there's no Skip coming in. And it was a last minute thing. And, I don't have my laptop plugged in here, and hopefully there's a good charge of my battery. So if I suddenly disappear, that means the battery went dead, right? Frisco Bay, cool. South of us, due south of us, probably, I'm guessing Frisco's probably 800 miles south of our islands here on the Southern Gulf Islands. New Zealand, good day. It is a beautiful day here. The time is 4:40 p.m. Pacific time, Tuesday afternoon. Temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, and we have blue sky and sunshine, and it is just absolutely beautiful, beautiful afternoon here. And like I say, San Francisco Bay Area, California, you're due south of us. Popcorn 913, you're due south of us. I'm in the Gulf Islands north of you guys. Our islands are about 100 miles north of Seattle. If you know where Washington State San Juan Islands are, we can see the San Juan Islands from our island. We're in the same archipelago as the San Juan Islands. We're actually across from Washington State, but we're in BC, but technically, if you really wanted to be technical about it, technically our islands should be in the US, because we're below the 49th parallel. We're actually, if I went across the ocean, I'd be in Washington State, which is crazy, but I wish I was. I wish it was part of the U.S. right now, because I don't like the way things are going up here. I don't like the evil dictator running the show. He's an evil sack of you-know-what, and he needs to go. Anyway, I won't get into politics, but yeah, if there was some Skip running, I would be trying to get contact with you guys. It's tough to get to California. The Skip doesn't usually run north to south too much, but sometimes, there were some years where it was just solid California coming in, for most of the year, and then it would just disappear. New Zealand, amen. Yes, Liam. Good to have you guys in there. I'm glad you popped in, and cheers to you guys. I'm drinking my pineapple bubbly, and you can see the background here, some of our palm trees. Those ones I grew from seed. Here, I'll step out of the way so you can have a better look at them, right? And I'll give you an idea how big they are. They're looking pretty good, huh? These ones have been here about 20 years or so, 25 years, that big one up there. Actually, no, more than 20 years. These ones have been here since the 1990s, so more than 20 years. I keep thinking, 20 years is 1990s. 20 years was in the 2000s still. Crazy. Not insane. Skip is slow here, solar flux. Yeah, so I was fishing for it yesterday, and I got Florida. Got a guy from Florida in there, and that's about it. Yesterday afternoon or evening, but no, it's been pretty quiet. And I did work a bunch of DX in the vehicle several days ago, just sitting in my driveway. We had a few driveways here, and I couldn't talk in my radio room because we have two accommodations here, and one of the accommodations is right above where the B&B guests stay, so I can't flap my gums in my radio room because I'm going to annoy them downstairs. So I said, F it. I'm going to go out to my truck, and I got a radio in my truck, and I got the linear in my truck, and I sat in the driveway and I was working stations left and right. It was awesome. Just awesome. Justin, I got somebody in Maine today. Sure. Oh, yeah, cool. I like talking to people in Maine because I don't get to talk to Maine that much. 4-element beam. Nice. Nice. Lucky you. I was looking at beams last night. There's a 3-element series. Is it a Serio? It's a Serio beam. They're selling one on Amazon. I do want to get a beam. So I start my job tomorrow. And, I'm retired. I retired when did I retire? My last day of work was actually late October of 2021. But my actual official last day of where I worked at the Parks Department was the end of November because I had to use up all my holidays, right? So that's the way it works. So I used up all my holidays. So my last day of official employment with the Parks Department was end of November. So December, January, February, March, April, May. I've been retired 6 months officially, and just a little over 6 months. And so when you retire, the wage kind of gets cut in half. And so now I'm getting a part-time job at the pot farm down the road. There's a massive pot farm. And so they called me to come in today, but I had the internet guy here pissing around with things. So tomorrow I'm going to go in to work. And it's only going to be a couple days a week. That's right. It's a 4-element serial beam put up there. Receive. Oh, cool. Yeah, they're good beams, man. Very good beams. Nice. I think what I got to do, I'm going to plug this bad boy in. Okay, so hang on a sec because I don't know how good the battery is in this thing. I don't know how long it's going to last. Well, we'll hang on a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't die on me because I always have this laptop plugged in, so I don't know how good the charge is on this Lenovo laptop. So we're going to find out. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having good weather where you are. I'm sure you are. San Francisco Bay's always got good weather. New Zealand's always an awesome place too, right? So here today, well, we'll shine her up into the sky, up into the heavens, and you can see the blue sky. Lots of blue sky. And it's just a really nice day out here in the Gulf Islands. And it was beautiful down on the beach. There was nobody on our beach. Our beach is so private. You just walk through this nature trail across the street, and you're down on this really secluded. It's white crushed shells, so it looks like white sand, but they're actually crushed shells. It's amazing, and it's and there's a couple of speedboats going by out there out in the distance. So so when I'm making more money, then maybe I can buy a beam. So there's one of my antennas. Can you see it right there? That is a Sigma Venom 5/8 wave antenna. That's one of 3 antennas I have up, but that's where I actually want to put the beam antenna. I want to put the beam antenna there, but I'm going to have to watch the boom because if the boom is too big, it's going to hit the edge of that tree up there, that big Pacific Madrona. So I might have to cut some branches off that tree. I have a great job too. I work for all girls school, and I'm a dishwasher there. Oh man, you're lucky. Totally awesome. Being hot, but not over 100 degrees. Wow. That is hot. 100 degrees would be hot. Yeah. So I only want part-time work. So like 2 days a week is good enough for me because I am retired now, right? I don't want to be working full-time. Anthony's. Hello, Joe. I caught you. You did. Yeah. I decided to do this live stream outside. I usually do the video gates here on the radio, but there's just no long distance stations coming in right now. So I figure we come out into the palm tree garden and you could have a nice background to look at, right? I got a 4-element. Oh, Gizmoji are great too. They're good beams. And I ran a couple of beams over the years. I had my first beam in the 1970s was a 2-element V quad, a strictly flat side. And then I had a 2-element high gain Eliminator 2 full quad, right? It was kind of like the same size as PDL2. Really well. Anyway, thanks for joining me in here. And like I say, let's just hope this battery holds out for a bit. And so tomorrow I start work at 8 o'clock. And the job I got is just basically a 2-minute drive down the road, which is even better. And it's planting time, so they field grow cannabis. There's a big, huge indoor grow op, but there's also field growing outside, many acres of field growing. So they want me to help them plant the stuff, which is cool. I'm running a high gain. Oh my God, those are awesome. Those are all, my buddy just bought one over on a used one over on Vancouver Island, the Big Island. I ran one of those in 1979. I bought a special edition. It was called the Super Penetrator 500. High gain super golden penetrator, was gold anodized. And that doesn't make it any better, but it was a great antenna. A high gain super golden penetrator 500. Those are amazing antennas. 5/8 wave, I think they called them, and they were, what were they? Were they 5 or 6 dB gain or something like that? Maybe it's 5.1 dB gain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw the video where you lifted a palm into the garden. Was that the beginning of the place you're at? I saw, Anthony, I saw a video where you lifted a palm into a garden. Well, I've been at this place for 30 years, Anthony. So I've lifted a lot of palm trees into this garden over the years I've been here. And some of them we took from Wendy's old place she sold. So I've been with Wendy for a decade now. I've been with Wendy for 10 years. My ex-wife I was with for 20. I was married to her for over 26 years. And we were together for, I don't know, 27, 20, 28 years, maybe 27 years, something like that. But some of the palms we removed from Wendy's old garden and we brought them here. So that's what you probably saw a video of me lifting a palm, maybe from her garden or maybe from another garden and transplanting it here. Yeah, 5/8 wave popcorn. Yeah, good antennas. New Zealand, I'm running a half wave station master antenna. It's a 40. You know what? The half waves are amazing antennas. My very first antenna I got in 1977, and my dad put it up for me, was a Radio Shack half wave ground plane. It was up about 15 feet on a post in the backyard, maybe 17 feet. I don't know. And I used to talk skip on that thing like crazy. It was aluminum, Radio Shack half wave, and I had it hooked up to a TRC 452 realistic AM 40 channel radio, the very first 40 channels that came out, and I still have it. I still have the radio. The antenna I lent to a friend on the road, down the road from me where I used to live, and he was just getting into radios. And then I moved here, and he still had the antenna. So when whatever, he still has the antenna. I don't know if he still has it. I don't think he does now, but he had it back then. So that's a good antenna to a half wave, really good. And the high gain penetrators, amazing antennas, the old Stardusters, and this Sigma Venom. So the one up on my roof there, guys, see that one? So it's got three little ground planes, the three on the bottom, three little ground planes on the bottom, and it is a 5/8 wave, and it is a high gain silver rod replica. That's what it is, a high gain silver rod replica. That's what they say. It works really well. I talk a lot of skip. I've talked to New Zealand on it. I've talked all over the States on it. I've talked to Australia, Hawaii, and I got that one hooked up to one of my old 458s. So it seems to be working good. I bought it from England. I got it brand new from England, and I put that up. When did I put that up? February, maybe? Something like that. But that's where I'm going to put a beam right there on that mast when I get a beam. If it's I'd like a 3-element flat side Yagi. If not, I like the smoking gun 2-element Joe gun beams are nice. Something small. I don't want any big beam up here. If I was younger, maybe a big beam, but not at my age, 58. I just want something easy to put up and something that works well on skip. I heard the smoking gun are pretty good, the 2-element smoking gun. I talked to a guy in Ohio one time, and he was booming in here. And I asked him, what are you running? He said, a 2-element smoking gun. So I Googled it, and it's like, wow, pretty cool little beam. 2-element, both polarities, right? Vertical and horizontal. But you know what? I'll be happy with a flat side Yagi. I wish I would have bought and I had a chance to get one years ago, a 3-element flat side Yagi Radio Shack. That's the one I want. Simple beam. 518, 9. Oh, wow. Justin Ruth. How's it going there, buddy? Good to see you in there. I wish we had some skip. I'd be talking to you, but you know what? There's just really no skip coming in right now. So I'm doing the outdoor live stream in our palm garden, right? So you can have a nice background of some beautiful palm trees. PDL2s are awesome antennas too. PDL2s were made by Avanti, the same company that made Moonraker, right? And Starduster too. So PDL2 were a very popular antenna back in the day, and that's another antenna I like too. If I could find a PDL2, and I'm sure I probably could, but they're probably a pretty penny, right? They're expensive, very expensive. And I should have kept my high gain Eliminator 2 quad. That was a really nice beam. I used to talk all over on that little thing. It was great. Yes, I have talked to you a lot. I have, and I will talk to you again. I will talk to you again, and you are on my video gates. 518, you are definitely on. 518, by the way, has made my video gates, everybody. And if I hear you out there in Skipland, you will make my video gate. If I talk to you, you will make my video gate. And I always have my camera rolling. I always try to have my camera rolling. Even if I'm doing a live stream video gate, I always have my camera rolling too. In case something doesn't turn out, I got it recorded as well. Right? Avanti, top of the, yeah, they're great, man. I like them. Or the Astro Beam. Yep. Astro Beam. There was also the what was that other one? Not Astro Beam. I'm trying to think. My mind went blank. It had a switch box. Was it an Astroplane? Astroplane. It had 3 elements on it. And you could switch the elements with the switch box. Why is my mind gone blank? It used to be very popular back in the 70s and 80s. Was it an Astro Beam? And there was no rotor on it, just 3 elements. That's the one I'm thinking of. Astro Beam, right? Astro Beam. Okay. And it had a switch box on it. No rotor needed. But those things were popular. Don't really see those around much anymore. You really don't see a lot of CB radio antennas up here. On Salt Spring Island, there is my buddy. I have 2 buddies on Salt Spring that have radio antennas up. And those are the only 2 other people on Salt Spring that have base antennas, and they don't really talk on them. They just have them for emergencies. They both run President Lincoln's, and they're nice radios. One of them is a Antron 99 we put up for the guy with the ground plane kit, and then the other guy has an Antron with no ground plane kit, right? Super Scanner. That's what it was. Super Scanner. Yes, right. Super Scanner. Testing my memory. That goes way back. I was just a kid. Everybody had the Super Scanners. And I remember seeing them on people's roofs or towers or whatever. I don't know. It didn't have both polarities on it. It just had the 3 elements. I would like a flat side beam because I really am a skip. I like skip shooting. And that's the only reason I ever got a CB radio is to skip shoot. And so a flat side beam. And I have my vertical antennas. I have an IMAX and I have an Antron, and I could relocate that Sigma Venom, right? I can move it somewhere else. No, Super Scanner. Supper Scanner? I'm getting hungry, man. You're mentioning supper, and I'm going to have to start cooking some stuff. So my wife, Wendy, has been at a art, what do I say? Not a seminar. It's a 9-day retreat. She's an artist. So she's at a 9-day art retreat on the very south end of our island. They started off early in the morning with this yoga stuff. They had dinner last night. They went there for breakfast this morning and yoga. And she's been gone since 7 this morning. So I got the whole house to myself. Moxon, 11 meters small. Moxon. Yeah, I've heard of Moxon too. I should check that out. A Moxon. Yeah. Okay, cool. I better write that down. I know I've heard of Moxon. I just don't know exactly what it looks like. Electronically polarized 3-element relay box, no rotor, Super Scanner beam. Yeah, but it's only one polarity, right? It's vertical. Anthony Squatch Adventures. I like that. Anthony Squatch Adventures. That sounds like the dream. Living the dream. Do you think Salt Spring is the best place on earth, Joe? No. Maui. I want to be on Maui. I mean, I'd like to be in Costa Rica, but I prefer Maui to Costa Rica. But Maui's really expensive. Maui is our favorite place. But, if you have to live anywhere in Canada, Salt Spring Island is a really good place. I had a horticulturalist visit my garden. She stayed at our B&B for 2 days, and she checked out this morning. So a horticulturalist from south of Vancouver, and she was hired by the olive farm here to prune the olive trees. There's a massive commercial olive farm on Salt Spring Island that makes olive oil. So she's this professional olive pruner. So she came over, she stayed in one of our accommodations, and she came to the door last night. She says, Joe, could I have a garden tour? So I gave her a garden tour, and she was absolutely blown away. Blown away of what we can grow here on Salt Spring Island, because everything you see here would be killed in the winter on the mainland, except these guys near the ocean. But where she lives, those guys were killed in the winter, those palm trees. And she's looking at plants here that are absolutely flawless, and they were killed to the ground where she lived in the December freeze, right? Super Scanner was only vertical. That's right. Hello, Joe, UDX267, Alabama. Anyway, Anthony, you know what? It's a good place to be. I'm not going to complain. Living on the Southern Gulf Islands is like we're not even in Canada here, right? We have our own flag, we have our own currency, and we got some really cool people that live on Salt Spring Island. We don't have any traffic lights, and the only way to get to this island is by boat. There ain't no bridges to this island. You want to get off, you got to take a ferry boat, man. We have 3 ferry terminals on this island. There's one on the very south end, which is about a 35-minute drive south of here. And then there's one just southwest of me, which is probably about no more than a 10-minute drive from me. And then there's another one that's about 25 minutes southeast of me that takes you over to the mainland. That's the longest ferry ride to the mainland because we're quite far from the mainland. UDX 267, good dear. You are on one of my video gates too. A UDX is on my video gates. Get a serial 4 element. Those are good too. My friend's got one, Anton, over on Vancouver Island. 518, mistype, but the super scanner is limited to about 200. Yeah, I wouldn't get a super scanner, but I mean, they're cool antennas. 26 GC22, the MFG 89 11 meter Moxon. I use 10,000. Wow, cool. Moxon. Okay, I'm going to have to check that one out. Moxon. I love being in Pemberton, but I'm thinking Salt Spring. Well, I like the climate here, man. I like the I'm being in Pemberton, but I'm thinking that might be favorite place. Oh, Castro will let you in. You can come to Salt Spring. We're still in Canada. Let's discuss the best ground plane. How about the penetrator, the high gain super penetrator? You know what MFG stands for? What does it stand for? MFG. Give me the dirt. New Zealand, how about 2-element delta loop? 2-element delta loop. Cool. That is isn't that like a V quad? 2-element delta loop. Isn't that what they call a V quad too? Also a dipole antenna as well. What is the best ground plane, everybody? And what is MFG? Don't I have an MFG? Just a minute. I think one of my pieces of radio equipment, I have an antenna tuner, an automatic antenna tuner, and I paid about $450 for it. Isn't it an MFG tuner? I'm pretty sure it says MFG on it. I could be wrong, but it kind of rings a bell. So V quad, yeah, that was my very first antenna I ever had. Well, my very first beam. My very first antenna was a half-wave ground plane, but at the same time, I also had a V quad. I was 13 years old when I had that V quad. Seen a guy have a 6-element delta. We had some. Wow, cool. I could imagine 6-element. I recommend these 500 for the shockwave. Really? Oh, there's also Mr. Coily. Mr. Coily ground plane. Apparently, you can put like 5,000 watts through that thing, right? Bang, bang. Who's that guy? There's that bad steak in there. Check out the Serio 216 vertical. It's got 16. Really? Serio 216. You know what? There used to be one called a Saturn base antenna made by Avanti. And I believe it was a ground plane with 2 polarities on it. It had vertical and horizontal. You know what I have to do, guys? I'm going to if you hang on a second, I'm going to plug this into the wall because I'm really worried that this battery is going to die on me. And then I'm just going to completely disappear. And so will you. It's okay if I disappear, but I don't want you guys to disappear. The delta loop is very high gain. I don't know what the dB gain is on my V quad, but it used to work really good. It wasn't really high off the ground, but I've talked to Australia on it. This was back in the 1970s, late 1970s. It was, let's see, when did I get it put up? Early 1978. I had that one put up for me. A guy came and put it up for me, which was kind of cool. Did you spend time in Whistler? Yes, I did. I used to ski at Blackcomb all the time. When I lived on the mainland, I used to ski at Blackcomb all the time in the ski season. I think they are 25 dB. No way. That's crazy. Joe, tell us about your working station. My working station. I have a lot of radios, man. What do you want to know about? So I have two TRC 458 radios, base stations, realistic. One of them has all the upper frequencies, 5KC slider, half channels, and it goes a little bit below one. I think it's just one channel below one. My other TRC 458 has the lower channels in it and the half channels and an unlocked clarifier. The main two radios I actually talk on are my RCI 2980WX base station. It's 24 megahertz up to near 30 megahertz. It's a 10-meter radio with 11-meter band in it, so it goes everywhere. It goes up and down and all around, and it's got the bells and whistles in it, that silly echo chamber thing, and it's got the Roger beep, and it's got weather in it and all that stuff. And it's got CW and FM. And then I got that hooked to a D104 Tug 9 Lollipop, and I got a Texas Star 500 high drive amp hook up to it. And that's hooked up to my IMAX 2000. My other radio that I use the most is my RCI 2970DX, which is peaked and tuned. It goes from 24 up to around 30 megs. And I got a handheld D104, and that one puts out, I don't know, 140 watts or something out of the radio. It's been, like I say, peaked up, and it goes everywhere. So those are the main radios I use, and plus my old 458 when I like to run the vintage. I have a TRC 452. I have a TRC 30A. I have a Cobra sitting in there. And then I have other old radio sitting in there too. Is it a Johnson Messenger or something? And then I have a TRC 48 sideband with a VFO variable frequency oscillator on it. So 3 antennas up. We got the aluminum one here, the Sigma Venom 5/8 wave, and then 2 other ones in the front of the place. And very, very well hidden from the road. New Zealand, very Joe, tell us about that. I'm just reading your things. There's no skip, but there's moment, but the UK just Spain coming in. Wow, cool. I wish I had some European skip coming in. Justin Ruth, the one I got was permanent 500 with heavy stuff. Cool. Penetrator 500, man. I wish I would have kept mine. I tried getting hold of Darren 1630p in the other morning. Cool, Liam. Well, I wish I would have kept some of my old antennas. My half wave I wish I would have kept, but I lent it to a neighbor and it stayed on the mainland. Like, I've been at this place for 3 decades, right? So I've been here a long time. Let's see. Who do we have in there? My eyes aren't, the sun's kind of glaring through. I got a patio umbrella, but my eyes aren't that good. That's why I'm getting close to the screen. I have to go in for laser in this one. I had detached retina in 2012. So I had major eye surgery in that one. And then in January 2020, I had a new lens put in. And now I'm having trouble seeing out of it. So I went for an eye test just about a month ago, and it's fogged up under the lens. So now I'm going to go for laser. And then there's a cataract forming in this one. It's kind of buggered up, man. Cap V quad high gain. Yeah, I never had a high gain V quad. I actually had a homemade V quad, but I had a high gain Eliminator 2 full quad. That's what I had. I had a full 2 element high gain quad B. SP, let's just see, New Zealand. Couldn't make it. You couldn't make it, Liam. Well, you know what? When the conditions are right and Mother Nature's on our side, you can talk just about anywhere. And I had a guy message me. He left a comment the other day, some guy that's just getting into radio, and he commented, how can you get out to all these places with your radios? And I said, I have Mother Nature on my side. Location does help too. If you're sitting down in a big valley or a dip and you're surrounded by mountains, that doesn't help. I'm very close to the ocean here. I'm on the very north end of an island. So we're on an island. We got the Pacific Ocean around us. And I'm on the very northern point of the island. And the ocean is like right across the street from me. And then I got ocean on the other side, not that far either. So it's amazing when I'm driving, in my car with my wife, you can hear all the bad and good spots where the DX is coming in. So you'll go around the mountain and it totally kind of disappears. And then you pass the mountain, then it starts to pick up again. And then there's a few other spots where it quiets off. But once you come to the north end of the island here, the skip comes blasting in again. It's a really good location. And I'm 160 feet above sea level. So it seems to work for me. So I won't complain. The 2216 has 2 short ground radials. Full length radios, 105 inches long. Okay, cool. That's what Justin Ruth is saying. Okay, the 216 has around full length radios, at least 105 inches long. That's very interesting. Element run. Okay, Liam. 1 element. Just run 2 Batoon on a V. I had a 2 element V quad, and it had wire. So the antenna looked like this, had two elements, like two of those, like that, one front and back reflector, and it had wire going across on the top between the elements. Only have room for one element. I got lots of room here. It's just I want to get a small beam. The TR4 expands well. It does. I got the slider put in 1980. I got the extras put into that radio in the summer. It would have been the late summer or very early fall. I think it was like maybe early September 1980. I got the extras put into my channel. I was 16 into the radio. I was 16 years old, and I was talking to a guy on Skip, and he said to me, this was back, oh God, it would have been maybe 1979, early 1980. And I was talking to a guy in Skipland, and he says, you want to go up to channel so-and-so? I says, well, how do you get there? And I said, I don't know. My channel, my radio only goes to channel 40. How can you go above 40? And he told me about it. So then I talked to this guy. He was a ham operator, and I talked to him about it. He says, yeah, I can put those in there for you. So I took them up to his tech shop. He was a techie, and to his radio shop, and he put them in for me. He put the slider in, he put the half channels, and he put the up above 40. So the radials pick up ground wave. Is that the reason behind them? The radials put. I'm not too sure. I'm not an antenna expert. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, it seems to work okay. I mean, nothing spectacular, but it works okay. What is your favorite? What is my favorite? What is my favorite radio? I think my favorite radio is the I like the RCI 2970 DX. I really love that radio. That's the one I talk a lot of barefoot skip on AM. I don't like to work skip on AM using a linear. So I work barefoot out of the radio. When I say barefoot out of the radio, so it's basically about 7 watts or so on AM. So 7 watts or 7.5 watts on AM out of that radio is barefoot. And I talk all over the place. I've even talked to Australia on that radio on AM. And the other one puts out about 40 watts on AM, my RCI 2970 DX. How do you like the Sigma Venom's really good. I really, you know what? I'll shoot it up there again. I really like that antenna. It works really well. I've been very pleased with it. I've worked some really good skip with that. New Zealand and Australia, not a problem. Hawaii, not a problem. I mean, I haven't heard any Europe coming in here, so I can't work Europe. But when they come in, I'm sure I'll be able to work Europe on it too. 11 meter 3 element Yagi is a great. That's what I want. I'm looking for more of a 3 element Yagi, but if I can get something else that's small, like a Moxon or the Smoking Gun 2, something like that. There's Gizmachi. There's lots of different types of beams out there, right? Hey, Kahu, silly little dog we have. So the minute I get down into the beach, the dog boots off ahead of me, and it starts rolling in some dead crab. There's this big crab on the beach, and it starts rolling in it. So now he stinks like this dead crab. Hey, you, stinky dog. So, and he's only 8 pounds. Does the trees affect it? No, they've never bothered me, man. I get out every I want. So I'll hold this up here, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. I don't know if you can see around. This is what it looks like where I live, right? So it's very rural. Okay, we're very, very far from town. There's no cities on this island. We're not incorporated. There's no real rules or regulations. You kind of do what you want here. It's a very beautiful, peaceful place, and the winters are really nice too. Get a lot of rain though. That's the thing. Get a lot of rain. The band is open, Joe. Oh, is it? Really? No, trees, Liam, don't seem to affect me. But I mean, if you were stuck in a bunch of trees around you, like heavy duty trees, I got opening around me, so they don't seem to bother me. But I would say if you're surrounded by thick, giant trees in the middle of a forest, they probably would. Yeah. Yeah, the band is open, Australia too. Really? Cool. Like right now, are they coming in? I get lots of Florida. Oh man, I get so much Florida coming in. It's like nonstop Florida. So when I'm fishing for skip, a bit of USA. Yeah, or I don't know. I could go into the I could go check. Do I really want to go inside though? Wide open. Wow. I'm gonna go look. Let's go have a look-see. let's go see what's going on in the radio room. But I don't want to sit in there. It's just too nice outside. Just so beautiful out. So let's go into the radio room. And I should probably plug this in and charge it up a bit. Let's have a listen and see. Let's see. Nothing. It's quiet here, man. It is quiet. I got to go back out into the sun. It's a crime to not be outside when it's this sunny out. So I got to find my, where are we here? There it is. I'm just going to find the plug for my radio. Not my radio, my computer. So I can head outside and plug it in because I don't want the battery to die. I'm kind of enjoying this live stream here. It's kind of fun outside. Yeah, so if there was skip coming, yeah, I would be inside. But guess what, guys? We don't have any skip rolling in right now. It totally shucks. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring out my 2-meter radio. I'll bring out my 2-meter radio. And sorry, guys, I'm making you follow me around. I'll bring out this. And I got it set to the fire hall. So I'm listening to emergency calls today because I was out there. I was live streaming on my other channel today on Banana JSSI. And that was a good long live stream. So let's plug this puppy in, go back out into this beautiful warm sun. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. 27, yeah, there's nothing on 28, man. It's absolutely totally dead here. So let's
channel mode.
These are great little radios here, these Baofungs, right? So I got that set to fire hall, and we'll see what happens here. See if we can pick up any crazy stuff. There's a lot of people with heart attacks today. I don't know what's going on, man. There's been this influx of heart attacks. That is not a good thing. I'm going to go get an extension cord. Hang on, guys. Let's get an extension cord. Okay. Then we don't have to worry about the battery going dead, right? We don't want a dead battery. Plug this thing in. Hopefully it reaches. I probably got too short of a one now. What's this? Oh, yeah. It works. Okay. We're plugged in, man. This is a good thing. All right. Hang on, guys. I'm just going to grab my drink. And I'm probably going to have to make dinner when my wife gets home. She's going to say, how come you haven't made dinner? Well, because I was live streaming, man. And live streaming is pretty important, isn't it? It's pushing 8s here. You can hear Danny on. Wow. Yeah, nothing here. The band is totally dead. Quiet. From 1 to 40. I don't know what's going on below in the free band or above in the free band, but it's quiet. Anyway, yeah, at my last location, I had a tower up. I had a 30-foot tower with 6 feet of mast, and then I had my my Eliminator 2 high gain full quad on it, and then beside that, I had a high gain super golden penetrator. Let's see, map. Yeah, nothing here, man. Totally dead. But you know what? I'm kind of glad in a way because I like being outside right now. It's just nice out here. It's just nice sitting outside, listening to the birds. I can hear lots of birds. I'm waiting for that radio to go off. So, yeah, New Zealand. So you're the next day over there right now. So it is, I'll tell you what time it is here. It's 5:17 p.m. Pacific time. It's in the middle of the Pacific. Ionosphere bubble is okay. Interesting. Well, we're not in the middle of the Pacific. We're off the southwest coast of British Columbia. We're out in the ocean, but we're off the extreme southwest coast of British Columbia. Australia, Indonesia, Hawaii. I love talking to Central Pacific. I usually talk to 121 out there, Honolulu. right? He's a good guy. 121, is he in Honolulu or Maui? Talked to him quite a bit. He's on a lot of my video gates. So I'd like to be in the middle of the Pacific right now. Out in the Central Pacific, I'm on 39 pointing towards New Zealand. It's dead. Yeah. Same here, man. Nothing coming in whatsoever. But you know what? It's a good excuse to be outside. Because if I was sitting in the radio room, I'd be looking out the window at the sunshine, say, oh, I should be outside. So tomorrow I'm assuming I'm going to be planting pot plants at my first day on my new job, my part-time job. Right? It's always 100%. Is it really cool? What is that called, Liam? It's in the middle. So what are you using? What map do you use? I can see on the HF map it's bad. Oh, interesting. I should check it out. Is that on the internet? I guess it is. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know when there's skip coming in when I turn the radio on, right? I turn the radio, oh, there's some skip. I really like fishing for skip. I love, when there's, you can hear a little something on 6. Sometimes you go to 6 and you hear a little something in the background and go, I'm going to go up to 28 and fish for some skip because you never know who's listening out there. And a lot of times, you throw that skip line out and you bait your hook and somebody out there in skip land bites, right? And sometimes it's not a long bite, like sometimes they'll get off pretty quick, but you can make the connection. Oh, check this out. Call coming in. Hey, Caleb.
Duty respond, medical aid, breathing problem, 6754 Air Road, the Air Manor Assisted Living, Unit 207. Duty respond, medical aid, breathing problem, 6754.
Breathing problems. All I'm hearing is heart problems, breathing problems, stroke. There's a lot of that stuff, man. I don't know, man. Kind of weird. Too much of it these days. I have one of those. Oh, do you have a Balfung, Caleb? Yeah, they're pretty cool, man. I like them. So, Liam, it's 100% accurate. Okay, that's good to know. Look at the blue and dark blue on the map. Interesting. Okay, so you got a Balfung. Wow, right on. Yeah, this one I bought actually from Amazon in the US. So it was a really good. So it came with a microphone. I got an external microphone. It came with this antenna, the bigger antenna, and 2 batteries. So this one's got the big battery on it. It came with a smaller battery as well. They're pretty good. They got a pretty good distance on them. I like them. Hello. How you doing? Somebody's saying hi. I got mine from Amazon too, like 50. Yeah, it was cheap. It was actually 54. I think it was 60. I think it was about 54, $60, something like that. And it was actually a better deal to get it through Amazon US than Canada. We have PRS here repeaters. I want to get. Yeah, they're cool, man. I call them throwaway radio, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, basically they are because they're cheap, right? They are. It's like when you buy a printer for your. It's like when you buy a printer for your computer. You don't get them fixed anymore. You chuck them in the garbage or you recycle them, right? So that's what they are. They're like a throwaway radio, but pretty cool.
2, 3, 2, 4.
Yeah. Anyway, I like listening to the fire department. Like now. Yeah. Hi, Pam Hawkins. Hello, Pam. How you doing? It's like no skip coming in here, Pam. It's pretty dead on the band. The now, Justin says. Justin Ruth says the now. You sucking on? No, that's not beer. That's actually pineapple sparkling water. See, sparkling water right there. And it's good stuff. I like the blackberry the best, though. Although pineapple reminds me of Hawaii because I love Hawaii. It's one of my favorite places. Our B&B here is actually Hawaiian themed. You'd have to see it to believe it. It's really cool. It is a Hawaiian themed B&B. Doing okay skip here, but East Coast a little. Okay, cool. So you got some skip flowing and there's nothing here, man. I could be sucking on a cold beer, though. We do have some in the fridge there, Justin. You heard SSTV of ISS on that? No. ISS. No, I've never heard. You heard of SS? No, I've never heard of that one, Liam. Doing okay, Skip here, but East Coast a little. Okay. So some of you people out there getting skip, as we're here in the Gulf Islands, we ain't getting any skip. I got East Coast 30 dB down. Wow. You're lucky. I love when skip comes in. I even love the sound of it. A lot of times my wife says, boy, that's just a lot of noise. A lot of noise coming in, because most people, that are not into the radios, you turn on the radio and you get like 50 million stations coming at once, and you got to have a good ear to pick out the best station. And those are the ones you're going to try to talk to, right? But to most people, it just seems like garble, just mumble jumble, because you got all these stations that are kind of blended with each other, and it's hard to make heads or tails what's going on in there, right? And that's the fun of it, is to pick out a station you can understand and try to get back to them. It transmits images, RF, you can tune in and wait. It comes over the sky. No way, really? Are you kidding me? Transmits images, RF, VH, can tune in and wait till it comes over, and you can really? That is so cool. There is an old weather sat that goes beep, beep on, you can hear. Is that right? Cool. 150 megahertz. That is super cool. I didn't know that. I remember there used to be something on one of the channels on the radio, CB radio, maybe it was on 27 or 29, and it was this weird thing, like some people called it a Russian woodpecker. It was just making this funny noise all the time. That was years ago. That was back in the 80s. So that's pretty cool, Pam. I had no idea. Very interesting. See, learning something new every day here. And I'm no techie, and I'm not a radio technician either. I'm not a computer techie, and I'm not a radio technician. I'm just a guy that likes to shoot skip, and I do like radios. 27 a.m. is Chinese short. Is it shortwave? Really? 225. Really? Interesting. The communists broadcast on that one, do they? On the CB band. The communist China broadcast to Justin Castro, our communist leader, our communist dictator. To be an old RC channel. Yeah, I heard that one. I heard that used to be. Yeah, I heard that was a RC channel. That's pretty cool. Back in the day, right? So you could affect. You could. What does this say? Something popped up here. You could actually affect someone's remote control car or toy if you were maybe close enough and you're talking on your CB radio. Is that the way it worked? Would it interfere with them? I wonder. What do you think? Is that possible? Because I've heard that was possible. Is that just an urban myth? Can you actually affect someone's remote control vehicle by talking on your CB radio if you're on the same frequency? Would it make it do funny things? He wants his car to do little circles and figure eights, and it just takes off on him and just keeps on going, right? And old garage doors. I heard that too. Garage doors too. Yeah. And I didn't know if it was a myth or not. That was back in the day, but I'm sure they're on a different frequency now. So this thing's been going off a lot today. Like there's been a lot of calls. Salt Spring Island, there was one on Salt Spring Island, and all the rest are in Victoria, because Victoria on the Big Island's not that far. Like the A channels. Oh, okay. You mean like the half channels? Is that what you're talking about? Half channels on CB radio band? Because I do have half channels on my old radios. I got them on the 458. And I can go to the half channels on my TRC 48. Yeah, everybody used to put the half channels in their radios back in the day, right? Back in the day, it was half channels. Oh, did you? 6666 from my mobile. Cool. That's pretty cool, Liam. Bloody good radio, man. I know those ones. I saw them. They sell them on Amazon, right? Isn't that AM FM? Is it an AM FM radio? Yes, that's right too. Yeah. So that's a half channel, right? I call them half channels. So between 3 and 4, between 7 and 8, between 11 and 12, between 14 and 15, and between 19 and 20, right? Those are half channels. So both of my 458s have half channels in them, and my TRC 48, I can go to them because I have a variable frequency oscillator hooked up. I told you my old call sign. Yeah, what was it again? I forget. My memory's going, man. I'm 58 years old. Pam, tell me it again. What was your old call sign? Mine was XM126128. My old call sign on the radio, on the CB radio back in the 1970s. It was XM12. That's what it started with. And every 3 years, you'd have to renew your license. and it was, how much was it for 3 years? Maybe $12, I think, maybe something like that. Kiss my ass. Ha ha. Right on. That's a good one. That's cool. Actually, that'd make a good skip shooting number. Kilo Mike Alpha 1004. Hey, I like that. Kiss my ass. Ha ha. That's good. And do you guys have to have licenses for CB radio still, or is it a thing of the past? Here, they did away with it a long time ago, and it's probably a good thing. So, on the most part, there's really not a lot of people on the CB radio up here. No, you don't have to have them anymore. Okay, that's like here too. You guys got the FCC, we had the DOC, Department of Communications. So really, the CB band is pretty dead here in Canada. Like on the coast, it is. There's a few guys that are into it still, but there's like 4 people on Salt Spring Island that are into CB radios, and those guys really don't talk on it much. It's just for emergency use. Skip is legal here at FM2. Oh, cool. I'm guessing it is legal here too. I mean, you can do anything you want. I mean, like you can run as much power as you want. Nobody bothers you unless you're coming over your neighbor's television set or you're coming over their stereo system, and then you're probably going to get a visit. Like I've had 2 visits paid to me by the Department of Communications, right? And I like to talk FM skip. I talk FM skip on 26805. Somebody put me onto that channel a while back, and they said 26805 is FM skip shooting. So I've worked some good FM skip there. It's a forgotten band. Nobody cares anymore, right? So yeah, there's a little bit of H&D that goes on the forgotten band, but that's okay. I like it, and I like shooting skip, and sometimes it's a little bit more of a challenge, but that's okay. 26805. Yep, that's it. New Zealand, there is no FCC investigators. Wow. Well, there used to be here, but I don't think there anymore. They were DOC. And I actually had them pay me a visit. The first time I had them pay me a visit would have been May 1984. I remember it because I worked across the street. And I was 20 years old. And I was coming home for lunch. And it's like, holy crap. There's a DOC car. There was a government car in my driveway, and it had writing on the door, and it had antennas all over it. And it's like, uh-oh. So anyway, I didn't go home until they left, right? My mom was home. And so I came home after work, and I said, what was that? And she said, well, the DOC paid you a visit. And I said, why did they pay me a visit? And they said, you're broadcasting on illegal frequencies. And somebody complained about me in Texas, contacted them about me running on illegal frequencies, because I know what it was. I gave out my address to somebody because we wanted to QSL, which was a bad thing. Don't give your address out on the radio. Don't do it back then anyway. And I did. So that somebody finked on me. There was a squeal down in Texas, a little fink. And then the DOC paid me a visit. But I had my smarts. So when I went to work, I would take all my modified radios and I would hide them in my closet and put a blanket over them and shut the door. And I would put a stock radio out in my radio room. So when they came to my radio room and checked my radio, they couldn't find anything wrong. So he left his card, and they said to my mom, they said, tell me, that we couldn't find anything wrong with it. We couldn't find any illegal broadcasting, that he's broadcasting on illegal frequencies, right? It was perfect. I used to have a P.O. box. Yeah, I used to have a P.O. box too. Before that, I actually had one before that, and then I got rid of it, and then I started using my address again. Need more thumbs up, please. Thanks, Pam. Thumbs up for you guys. Lots of thumbs up for you guys. And like I say, I'm doing the outside live stream today just because, well, I wanted to talk with you guys, and there's no skip coming in. So and I don't want to sit in a radio room. Thumbs ups are good if you want to do, or you can do shocker wave. You can do the shocker wave, or you can do the 4 fingers in the thumb, right? That's what they say, some CBers, right? Got mine. Yeah, so I used to have a P.O. box back in the day, and we used to do a lot of QS selling. And it would never happen here now. Nobody gives a rat's you know what. The last person I sent QSL cards was actually Dallas 347 in Tennessee. He asked me if I would send him some QSL cards because I do QS. I mean, if somebody wants QSL cards, but it's always nice to get them back. So eventually, if he remembers, maybe Dallas will send me some QSL cards back. Actually, I don't care if he sends me any back. I want a postcard. Dallas, if you're listening, I want a postcard from Tennessee. That's all I want. I did send him some QSL cards. And did I send him a sticker? I don't know if I sent him a sticker, but I did send him some QSL cards. So I do have QSL cards. I've talked to every state many times, so I have lots of QSL cards. I have a big box of them. I've talked to every province, and I've talked to maybe 20 countries, something like that. I try to use an email now for Q. That's actually smart, Pam. But not a lot of people ask about QSLing anymore. Like I think it really is a thing of the past. When I was a kid, everybody QSL. Hey, you want a QSL? And seriously, I get off at the end of our road, which was 5 blocks away, and the school bus would drop me off, and I'd walk home. And the first thing I would do is go to my mailbox, and the flag would be up. I lived on a farm, right? We had 5 acres, hobby farms, all farms out there, and the flag would be up, and there would always be QSL cards in there. I swear to God, 5 days a week, there would always be some QSL cards in there. Sometimes there'd be 3 or 4, sometimes there'd be 1, but I've saved all my QSL cards. People just write them down and move on. Yeah, and I do log stuff. I log good stations I talk to. They're in my book. Australians do anyway. Okay, interesting, Liam. Very interesting. It's so sad to send out 8 cards. Yeah, I know, Pam. That's what happens. I've sent out way more than I've ever got back, and it really sucks because I QSL 100%. Pam, if you sent me some cards, I would send you some back. That's just the way I am. You know what I mean? On Facebook, people wish me happy birthday. If 50 people wish me happy birthday, I will thank each one of them. That's just the way I am. I try to answer every single question, or sorry, every single comment on my YouTube channels. I have 3 YouTube channels, right? The very first one's kind of in suspended animation from 2008, but my other YouTube channel is actually my main YouTube channel is Banana JSSI, and I go on there every day and I answer every comment. If there's 20 comments, I will answer 20 comments. I don't care. But if you send me a QSL card, you will always get a QSL card back. That's just the way I work. 1 for 1, but no more. Yeah, I always sent 2 cards out. Yeah, but the last cards I made were in 1981, and I got them made in Lexington, North Carolina at the QSL print shop. If someone can guide me in the right direction. A print shop can make them. There's actually a really good print shop on the Big Island. And I asked them, I said, would you, because I want to design a new QSL card for AM. I actually have some of my original ones. I was the goat roper when I was a kid because we had these goats. And I remember the neighbor hanging over the fence. He said, hey, goat roper. He called me a goat roper. I was a kid, 12 years old. He used to call me the goat roper. I said, so I got my first radio in 1977, and that was my handle, the goat roper. So I got cards made up immediately. I designed these QSL cards, and I still have some of them. And I got some other ones made up in 78, and then in 1981 I got another 2,000 cards made, but with a completely different design for sideband and everything. I get a eyeball cues, and they write in my notebook when I meet them. Oh, cool! Meeting people is fun too. Now, back in the day, they used to have those CB breaks. The breaks you'd meet at a hall or something, and you could exchange QSL cards there too, and meet some of the people. And you have them in a book. Okay, cool. So I have a big box, a big Apple box full of QSL cards, and the QSL cards that I got sent to me in the mail, I've kept them all in their original envelope, Pam, and I just use a letter slicer to open them up. And actually, I got a video on here of my QSL card collection. And if you search QSL cards in the search engine on Jungle Joe C Videogates, you'll see the video, you'll see my QSL cards, and you'll see the very first QSL card I ever got in 1977 from a guy named Short Change in Louisiana, in Enns, Louisiana. That was the very first QSL card I ever got on AM Skip. In the book. That's pretty cool, Pam. Yeah, I have not a shoebox. I have a big Apple box. Like a big, the big Apple box that Apples come in. I have that full to the top with QSL cards. Full. You can see in the video. If you go to search QSL cards, and you'll definitely see my QSL card collection. And I used to have a lot of them on the wall too. I'd get those QSL card holders. They were plastic. You slide them in so you don't put pins through the QSL card. Yeah, Apple box book. Okay, yeah. Apple box. And then I have log books too, because I do log stuff and I've always logged. I mostly get Australia. I need to jump on a plane to see them. Yeah, well, that's like me too. I live on an island, so I have to hop on a ferry, right? And the only way off of this island is by ferry. And we can fly off of Salt Spring Island too. I'm on Salt Spring Island. We can fly off of this island and fly to the mainland. It's only, I think by the time you land, it's a half-hour flight, something like that, or maybe a little bit less. So, okay. So, yeah. But one of these days, maybe we will meet. You never know. I've met a lot of people on here over the years. And there's a couple of guys I talked to on Vancouver Island, and I still haven't met them yet. They're right beside me. They're on the big island. I talked to Bob 440, and then I talked to 217 over in Crofton. I mean, the ferry lands at Crofton. I've never met him yet. Steve, and then there's Rob over in Cowichan Bay 57. I think it's 575. I haven't met him either. You get your email there, or have to go somewhere to get your email. My mail. Oh yeah, no, our mail comes to. So I go down to the bottom of our hill, Pam, and there's like a big box on the side of the road with a bunch of smaller boxes in it. So ours is box number 6, right? So that's where we get our mail. Just at the mailbox, there's a whole bunch because we live out in there's so many. It's so rural here. There's no houses that are close to each other. So the mailman just goes to a central unit, and then he goes another mile down the road, and then there's another central unit, and then he just opens up the big door and he just fills up everybody's little slots with mail. So it's like a box kind of. Troposphere, UHF PRS, Liam says is interesting. Yes, it is. They do it in USA or in VHF every day. Okay, quarter box. Yeah, it's a quarter box then. Yeah, so it's a big post box. You can actually mail letters there too, but it's got about 20 boxes, 20 smaller boxes in it, and then it's got big openings at the bottom if you want to get a parcel, a big enough, a parcel that'll fit in there. The last parcel I got was a license plate from Hawaii last week, and it came in the bigger box. Miles Dozier 477 Razorback, waving at you, bro. Good to have you in there. I got a lot of friends in the Razorback state. You have to love Arkansas. Arkansas, super cool place. You know what? A lot of people don't know this about Arkansas. Is it alligators? They're actually native to southern Arkansas. And is it crocodiles or alligators? Probably alligators, right? And then there's also palm trees native to the southwestern corner of Arkansas, Warren City, Arkansas. And I grow those here in our garden. I grow actually palm trees native to Arkansas. I had a lot of seeds sent to me. I got a friend that lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. So good to see you in there, 477. Thanks for joining in the Livestream videogate podcast. We're not talking on the radio right now. We're not in the radio room just because there's no skip coming in. So anyway, yeah, Warren City, Arkansas is like this little subtropical southwestern corner of Arkansas. And you got gators down there. And you also got native sable minor dwarf palmetto palm trees, believe it or not. I call them razorback. I got a buddy that grows. See, we grow a lot of palm trees here too. Lots of palm trees on our island and big ones too. But this is the only place in Canada you're going to see them out here on the islands and right along the Pacific coast. And so those palm trees I have growing here, they're indestructible. They're from Arkansas, razorback. We have kiwis that are nearly. Oh, you have kiwi birds. That's cool. Well, we grow kiwi fruit, but actually, kiwi fruit is not native to New Zealand. It's actually native to China and Actinidia, which is the kiwi fruit. We grow the big fuzzy kiwi fruits. Those were introduced into New Zealand. I'm south of Fort Smith. Okay, cool. So you've probably been to Warren City, Arkansas. And I would love to go to Warren City, Arkansas, just to walk through there and collect some seeds from those dwarf palmetto palm trees. I've seen pictures of them. Super cool, man. I've seen videos of them. My buddy's been down there. So anyway, he collected me a bunch of seed. And about 2 weeks ago, I transplanted a bunch of sable minor into, they're sable minors, the Latin name, but they're called dwarf palmetto. And they're really nice little palm trees, super cold tolerant, native to the southeastern states. Alligators and crocodiles on the U.S. mainland are very far south. Okay, but there are some in Arkansas. There are native. There are there in Arkansas because I've seen videos on them, which is crazy. You don't expect what are the alligators in Arkansas, but they're there, and so are palm trees too. And Arkansas is a pretty neat state, man. And I know it gets stinking hot down there too. They get the heat. Arkansas gets that razorback heat. He sent me some other palm seeds from Arkansas. He planted a palm at his mom's place, the same species as this one here. And I call them razorback fortunae. So these are Trachycarpus fortunae palms from China. But he sent me some from his mom's place, a palm. And I planted some at our public pool more than a decade ago. And you see how big they are now, man. I call them razorback palms. And I got a bunch of them growing at the public pool, and they are thriving, man. They are absolutely gorgeous. They're right at the entrance, and I got about 5 of them growing there. I planted them as seedlings, and they're bigger than me now. They're beautiful. Yeah. Lake Millwood got gators. Cool. That's awesome. Gators in the Razorback. Doesn't that sound cool? The Razorback state. You know why they call it the Razorback? Not because of the football team. It's because of the Razorbacks that are there. They got the wild boars. They got those Razorbacks, and those things will probably gore you to death. So you could probably go hunt those Razorbacks and have some nice pork chops, right? Some wild boar, right? Rowie birds are not many of them left to rowie birds. Not too many. So they're pretty rare then, probably getting near extinction. Yeah, wow. There's a lot of birds here too, but I don't know all my birds. There's some really cool ones. They put some nesting boxes up at the dock down the road. They're called purple martins, and they're almost kind of swallow-like, but they're absolutely beautiful, man. They're these beautiful birds. Really nice sound they make. Actually, I have videos of purple martins on my other YouTube channel. Remember, I do have another YouTube channel, and that other channel's got way more videos and more hits than this one. But you know what? This one does have enough hits, and that's why it's good. If I get you on my videogate, people will see it. This channel has about 7,250,000 channel views, which is pretty good, and we're over 10,000 subs on this channel now. And it's funny, the subs went up when I changed it to video gates, and I've been shooting video gates for over 10 years now, and I wish I would have shot them earlier. But yeah, it's just over 10 years, maybe 2011 I shot the first gate, something like that. But they're fun to shoot. So I always look forward to the skip coming in, and I look forward to hearing some of you in there, especially Pam, because I have not talked to Pam yet. So we're going to talk to Pam one day, and we're going to get Pam on the video gate, right? We're going to get Pam on the video gate. And anybody else we hear in there, if I got the camera rolling, we're going to get you on the video gate. Hello, 351 radio. Hello, and shock a wave to you from our islands in the North Pacific. The alligators probably can survive there because warmer water, rivers flowing into lakes from Texas. I've seen videos of alligators. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I wonder if they'd survive here. Yes, get Pam. I will get you on the gate, and then you can share it with your friends too. We'll get Pam on the gate when Wisconsin's running this way. And I've talked to Wisconsin tons of times, but I want to talk to Pam. I want to talk to my friend Miss Hawkins. Pam, we're listening for you out in Skipline. So, yeah, and I used to talk to a guy, and I probably told you about this. It was back in 1980, 79, 80, and I would talk to the guy every day for 2 or 3 months. He was in Wisconsin. It was great. I forget the guy's name, but we'd send each other QSL cards and all that stuff. 00 video gates. Got to get some video gates going. Get the gates. You see them? I'd love to go to Arkansas and see some gators. I'd like to shoot a YouTube video of some gators. I've only shot videos of them in the Honolulu Zoo. That's the only place I've ever seen gators is in the Honolulu Zoo. And that's a pretty cool zoo. They got some pretty neat animals there. I like the giraffes, and I like the rhinos too. They're pretty awesome. And of course, the elephants. So yeah, so hopefully the DX will pick up here. Some days I'm going to be working. Like I say, I start a new job tomorrow, and they did hire me. When did they hire me? Back in April. They said, yeah, Joe, you got the job. I went for an interview, and they're waiting for the weather to be warmer to plant the pot plants outside because it's been so cool this spring, and cannabis plants are very sensitive to cooler weather. They just don't do well. I mean, they'll grow, but they won't succeed. So if you want them to flourish, you have to have warm soil. Now the soil's starting to warm up. So I guess it's time to plant some cannabis plants. And where I'm going to be working is, you can see them online. It's called Good Buds on Salt Spring Island. Good Buds, like BUDZZ. Good Buds, Salt Spring Island. And it's a massive grow up. They ship across Canada, indoor and outdoor growing. Wendy's daughter actually works at the indoor part, and I'm going to be working in the outdoor part, helping planting and looking after stuff. So it'll be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting, something I haven't done before, right? So we'll see what happens. A couple days a week is better than no days a week. And it's just extra money because, like I say, when you retire, the money kind of gets cut in half. So I get a pretty good government pension from my government job, Parks Department, but it's not as good as the money I made when I was working. So anyway, if I can bring in a few extra bucks each month, maybe I can afford a 3-element beam one day. That's what I want. Because Wendy says, before I buy a beam, I got to get a job. I got to get a part-time job. So she's pushing me out the door to work. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be working part-time, and then I'll have some extra pocket change, and I can buy some fun things like a beam antenna. And then I have to buy a rotor. You don't just buy the beam antenna. You have to buy a rotor too. I wish I would have kept my Channel Master rotor. Oh, God, all the things. I got rid of my tower, got rid of my beam, Got rid of my channel master. I'm just so stupid. I should have saved some of that stuff. But I did save my radios. I see they are selling. Yeah. We get edibles here. Lots of them. I have some here. Got lots of that stuff. There's 3 or 4 cannabis shops right in our main village. Like seriously, there's no shortage of them. I'm gonna have to make some dinner soon. You know that it's 5:47 p.m. Pacific time, and what should I make for dinner? I do have chicken. I did buy some chicken breasts. They are good, yummy, yes. But you know what? I did an edible with Wendy one time, and it's like, oh my god, it was just too much for me. I tell you, I should have had like an eighth of it and not half of it. So we cut the thing in half. She had half, I had half, and I swear to God, it was just so freaking potent. It just absolutely wiped me out. I felt like Rubber Band Man. You know what I mean? Like it was not good. Edibles is good for for laxing out. You know, I can tell you a story. One time I made some brownies. This was about how many years ago? 15, maybe it was 15 years ago, maybe even longer, a little bit longer. And I grew some really nice stuff and I had some big buds. So I threw it in the brownie mix and really dumb. I threw the whole bud in the brownie mix. I got some really nice brownies. And I remember taking a piece of that brownie. My wife, this is my ex-wife, and she went to town. She's, make sure you save me some of those brownies. So anyway, when she left, they were in the oven. And it was so thick, the bud, you could actually see all the particles of the bud through the brownies. And so anyway, it comes out of the oven, and I had a nice piece of brownie because I didn't eat edibles in a long time. I used to do them when I was, a teenager. And I have a piece of brownie going, well, this isn't affecting me. And then I had another piece of brownie, and after the third brownie, man, I was wiped out. It was like, I always thought Phoenix Roblini was a slow-growing palm. I think in the tropics and you got heat, they'll grow pretty good. I hope I'm dangerous with a beam. I tell you what, Miles, I used to run 600 watts through my beam. I had a 2-element eliminator 2, and I had a Chris Big Boomer 600-watt linear amplifier. So I would beam 600 watts through that on sideband, and it used to get me out really good, and even on AM too. But just a 3-element beam for shooting skip would be good, and then we'll push half a kilowatt through. It'll help. Was Stone okay? Okay. So anyway. You know what? This was Stone. Okay. And on the amp, I know. So Pam, so after my third chunk of that brownie, I swear to God, I said, no, this is not good. I was literally crawling up the stairs into our bedroom, and I crawled into the bathroom, and I stuck my head in the porcelain pony, which is the toilet. The room was spinning around. I swear to God, my heart was going like this, and I thought I was going to die. And I tossed my cookies, and then I heard the door open up about an hour later, and my wife comes in. Hey, Joe, how are the brownies? And you know what I said to her? I said, throw those effing things in the garbage. I said, throw that effing stuff in the garbage, man. It was the worst experience I've ever had eating edibles. 50,000 watts, 8-element quad. That's your goal. Yeah, if I win the big lottery, sure. Big Mouth Joe. Or, there's Motor Mouth Mall in the States. I could be Motor Mouth Joe. I do like to talk. I was doing a live stream at the coffee shop, and some guy comes in there, some prude, and everybody was having fun. Everybody was loud. Of course, I was the loudest. I'm Italian. I don't have an inside voice, right? And this guy just comes into the coffee shop. No fun at all. Mr. Dull guy, and he sits there with his wife or his girlfriend. He says, this isn't a rock concert. You don't have to talk so loud. And I says, whoa. And I says, hey. I don't have an inside voice. I'm Italian. Basically, if you don't like it, get out of here, right? So he actually ended up and he left, right? And it was a good live stream. It was lots of fun. God is huge. Yes, he is. And so is a 3-element beam with 500 watts going through it. He runs like 10,000 watts. Is that what he runs? So he's running 10,000 watts. Okay, so that's why he gets out so good. So to me, that's just cheating. You know what I mean? Like when I shoot my skip on AM, it's barefoot, really. And yeah, I do cheat on sideband, but on AM, I like the challenge of barefoot skip shooting. So barefoot skip shooting is fun for me. And when I get my beam, it'll probably be a little bit easier to shoot skip on AM. But like I say, just the power out of the RCI 2970 or 2980 WX, which is not a lot of power, right? But Motor Mouth Mall, 10,000 watts. I can't even imagine the power bill. Can you imagine your hydro bill? Your hydro bill with 10,000 watts. You'd get a bill every month from skip shooting. You probably get double your hydro bill with 10,000 watts. That is just absolutely insane in the membrane. Yeah, there's one guy here in Texas somewhere running 80,000 watts. Wow. I can't even imagine. Yeah, these guys, that's like having a radio station, like broadcasting from a radio station. I don't want anything like that. I got a Texas Star 350 high drive. I have a Texas Star 500 amp, 500 watt high drive, a variable. They're both variable. And then in the vehicles, we have the 200 watt linears in each vehicle, which is good enough. And they're just the transistor ones. They're actually, to be quite honest, they're not quite 200 watts. They're about 195 watts, something like that. 80,000 watts. I only run 25 watts. 25 watts is fine. If you have a good antenna and conditions are right, I've talked to New Zealand on basically 2.5, no, actually probably was 2.5 watts. I talked to New Zealand on 2.5 watts. You could talk skip on a dummy load. Yeah, pretty much, eh? Yeah, no kidding, Pam. 10,000, we probably melt the dummy load. I remember, and some of you have probably heard the story, I was talking to a local friend when I lived on the mainland, and I had a 2-element high gain quad beam up, 36 foot, one wavelength on the tower. And I was talking to my buddy. He was about maybe 4 miles away from me. And we were talking down on 26,535. It was 20, I think it was 26,535, way down low, below channel 1. This was 1981. And I'm talking to him, and I could hear somebody in the background talking, but they sound like they had like a Aussie accent. So, I told him, stop talking for a minute, Sven. I want to hear this. And you could hear this guy. He says, you hear him? He says, he could barely hear them talking, but I could hear them. So I said, just hang on a second. I'm going to flip my beam around. So I started spinning my beam around, and I brought them up to several S units. And they came in from the South Pacific. That's where they were coming in the strongest. So I called for them on AM. And they came back to me. They were in New Zealand, and I did get QSL cards from them. New Zealand skip with 2.5 watts using a beam antenna. Yeah, thousands of amps. Yeah, I wouldn't want 50,000 watts, honestly. To be quite honest with you, that's just too much. Yeah, the amp, you'd have to run that into 220. It's like the skull cracker. There's Sir Mix-a-Lot has that one made by BB Box Builders of Idaho. Just some of these guys have some amazing power, and they're on channel 6 all the time. It's too much. Sometimes you can't even get a word in edgewise there if they can even hear you. Once in a while, I get out and I have somebody on channel 6 coming back to me, but not too often because it's all powerhouse stations down there. It's just powerhouse stations. And I'm not a powerhouse station. I'm actually quite a weaky station, but I have fun doing it, right? I have fun shooting skip, and that's what it's all about. I don't have to have 50,000 watts. I don't think I'd want 50,000 watts, but I wouldn't mind a big, like, maybe if I was younger, a Moonraker 4 or something like that would be nice. Here now, in my age, I'm 58. I think a 3-element beam up on top of that mast on top of our house will work really good. 3-element flat side beam is going to do me well. They do have key up wars. It's kind of crazy when you go listen to these guys and what are they talking about there? I mean, I just like to make a connection with somebody. I did talk. The last good QSO I had with an Australian station was my buddy Jay, Alpha Uniform 161 in Queensland, and I uploaded it is on a live stream, and it does say Australia on the live stream in the title. And I talked to him we talked for over half an hour. I think it was probably a half hour, and then or maybe it's 20 minutes or so. And then I also uploaded it to my Banana JSSI channel. So if you go to Banana JSSI, there are video gates, CB radio video gates on Banana JSSI. So if you go to Banana JSSI, my other YouTube channel, and search CB radio or skip or DX land or DX whatever, you'll see the video gates. 80,000. Oh my God. 80,000 watts is absolutely insane. Get him and his wife, Nikki. Oh, cool. Right on, Liam. Yeah, I've been talking to him for years. I've been talking to Jay for years, and I'm Alpha Uniform 791, and he's Alpha Uniform 161. And I've even talked to him in his mobile. which is kind of cool. So I have a lot of video gates of me talking to Jay over the years. Some of them may be on Banana J SSI. So if you want to see more older video gates, there's video gates of me talking to Europe too. I've worked lots of European stations. Those ones might be on Banana J SSI, but they could be on this channel too, Jungle Josie Video Gates, right? So Banana J SSI I've had a lot longer than this channel. This channel I've had for just over 10 years, and that one I've had for 12 years, and my original channel is 14 years ago I started it, right? Something like that. So, well, I think, guys, I should probably roll soon because I'm getting hungry and I'm going to have to make some din din. It is 5:58, so I should probably pack it up pretty quick. It's been good to have all you guys in there. It is so nice out here. It is absolutely beautiful, beautiful weather here. I got into Italy. I've talked to Italy. I think I've talked to Spain. I've talked to Portugal. I haven't talked to Poland, Germany. Yeah, but not Poland. I don't think I've made it to Poland. Sean in Nanaimo. How many base stations are there locally? Sean in Nanaimo. Base stations locally. Oh, I don't know. Like I'm on Salt Spring Island. So there are 3 here on Salt Spring Island. I mean, 3 separate, like I have lots of base stations, but like 3 different people. There are 2 other ones that I know of on Salt Spring Island. And then there's a guy with a mobile, right? And then on, I talked to Bob in Chemainus. I talked to Steve in Crofton, and then I talked to Rob in Cowichan Bay. So I know of 3. And then I talked to the guy up in the New Bay. But there are some other ones too, but probably not so active, right? I don't know about in Nanaimo though, but I do talk to the guy in the New Bay. He's a Radio Canada guy, and he does the check-in on channel 40 on Sunday nights, right? So there you go. Early morning. Yeah, it's my dinner time here, and I have to make dinner, man, because I'm getting lethargic here. I have to eat. I start to wear out, and I got to get up early tomorrow because I got to work, and I haven't worked in 6 months because I'm retired. So I have to do that. Kahoo, come here. Come here. Where's Puppy? Puppy was sitting in the sun. He kind of disappeared. Okay, guys. So I should roll, and I will be listening for you out there in DX Land 351. Catch you later, buddy. Shaka wave to you guys from our islands in the North Pacific. And okay, Pam, see you later. I wanted to call you Palm because I like palms. Palm trees behind me. When I see Pam, I think of palm. Do you like palm trees, Pam? See ya, mate. I'll see you later, Liam. Thanks for coming in there. And like I say, I will be listening for you guys out there in Skipland. Cal, see you later, buddy. Everybody else out there, Miles, see you later. Thanks for helping such a... Hey, man, it's a great hobby, and thanks for joining in. And like I say, if you're not on my video gates, you will get on my video gates. When the skip is rolling our way, when Mother Nature's on my side, and I can get to you guys, sometimes it works like this. I've had people say, well, Joe, I could hear you out there, but you couldn't hear me. Or sometimes I hear you guys and you can't hear me. And that's the most frustrating kind of skip there is. I've had people say they've heard me in England. They heard me in England, but I couldn't hear them, and I wish I could hear them because I would love to get them on the video gate. So if I hear you, you'll get on my gate. So anyway, thanks a lot and for joining in the gate, the live stream gate. And yeah, it is a great hobby. And I'm very grateful that I did keep my radios. That's one thing I never got rid of or never got out of. There's a lot of people that got rid of their radios, and I never did get rid of my radios, and I'm still using original radios, believe it or not. I still have my old 458. In my truck, I use a Citizen MPL5 I bought 43 years ago, right? And it still works, and it has all the uppers in it. It goes up into the 10-meter band quite a ways, actually. All right, guys, you take care, and 73s, and cheers. And I say aloha from our island because our islands are called Canada's Hawaiian Islands because we have lots of Hawaiians on Salt Spring Island. And we do have palm trees too. You see that? Palm trees behind me. Lots of palm trees on Salt Spring Island. We have thousands of palm trees on our property. You'd have to see it to believe it. And yes, we are in Canada. All right, take care. And we will see you next stream. I have to think, what am I going to do for dinner? What am I going to make for dinner? I got to find my cursor here now. Where did my cursor go? There it is. The sun is in my eyes. Adios, senorita and amigos. Until next time. Cheers to you all. And have a great night and have a good morning. If it's morning where you are, have a good morning. If it's nighttime, have a good morning in Shaka.